Welcome back, guys. This is Primus. Today I'm going to be showing you my minecart loading yard. What this does is it's intended for high traffic and or multiplayer areas where you're going to be needing to load a lot of minecarts. However, if you are only running low traffic, I recommend using a video of mine earlier posted. It's called the high efficiency loader. Check that out. Now, how this works is you basically put all your storage into this chest here. What this does is it sends it down into the first bay. When the first bay storage fills up, it'll move to the second bay, third bay, and fourth bay. And then if it doesn't have enough storage even in the fourth bay, it'll actually cycle the items around until there's space. Now, as you can see, we do have 4 bays here, which means we can have 4 minecarts being loaded simultaneously. If there is not room, however, for all minecarts to be loaded simultaneously, say we have 5 minecarts coming in, the 5th minecart will simply loop around this track here until there's room available. As you can see in each one of these bays, there's a little track section that'll switch over once the bay is occupied. And as you can see, as we put in stone, that first bay's stopper mechanism has popped out. So if we want to load a minecart, all we have to do is simply feed this guy some coal. It'll load up our minecart. This will take a minute. I haven't managed to figure out how to put in a high-speed system where we can have a minecart be a full minecart loaded out to us eventually, because obviously the goods we need loaded are inside the station. So it will take a minute, and we loaded 2 stacks of stone in there if you don't remember. As you can see, because we have a minecart system in there, this bay has been closed off. The next minecart will come into this bay here. Again, this is intended for high traffic areas, and so not for simple stations where you don't need to be transporting a lot of goods. It's also pretty fail-safe, using quite a few fail-safe mechanisms to make sure that if you pack in a bunch of minecarts, it won't break. Alright, there we go. It's been released. As you can see, we got our 2 things of stone in there. So a pretty simple concept, but it worked out really well. Here we have the skeletal version of the station. As you can tell, it's simply 4 of my high-efficiency loaders strung together in a line. What makes this different is we actually have some additional wiring down here, additional wiring up here, lots of hopper mechanics involved, and a lot more rails connecting them. Now, simply put, these are simply consistent of a bunch of loops which can open and close that allow items and carts to move freely. If we set the time to 1000 here, we can get a nice long span. Okay, so let me explain how this works. When a cart, or rather, when we put a item in here, as you can see, it will go along this track. Because this bay is empty, we still have room in this chest here. It's powering this hopper here. What this means is that this hopper will not pass on the items to this hopper, and will allow it to be sucked down into this chest. So we will have 100% of the items sucked down into this bay. I did this because if we are having a single minecart loaded, we want to get all of our goods in there. Now, once this bay fills up, what happens is it actually activates this redstone line and deactivates this redstone line. Now, what this means is that the piston, or the hopper on top, apologies, will turn off and will be allowed to pass on items to the next cart, and the hopper down here will turn off, resulting in no items being pulled into this little station here. That means that this minecart can be filled up, and once this chest has been depleted a little, this will turn off, and we will once again begin item flow into the first bay here. So we can demonstrate this process here. As you can see, this thing has extended as it is in my efficient minecart loader. You can see we are slowly getting items actually into this hopper. Once this chest fills up, it will activate it. What I've done now is I've essentially flooded this chest with stone. Now, with one more stack, it will fill up, and we can see these little lights change. So if we throw in another stack, you will see that this light turns off, deactivating this hopper, and then you'll see this light turn on, powering this underneath hopper, which in turn basically disables this bay here until it's more empty. Now, if we simply create a minecart here, we can see that if we wait a minute for that little bit to unload, you'll actually see that this is reversed again, and it's back in the default position where this top hopper is powered and the bottom one is not, so it's able to accept items once again. Like you can see here, we are feeding items into this hopper. You can see none of them are going on to these other bays quite yet. Now if we don't want to do that, we want to continue this, what we can do is we can flood this with some more items. You can see we got all the items that we can possibly put in there, and it's still unloading items. Where it's putting them is it's actually putting them in the second bay here. Apologies, in the hopper down here. And then once this chest fills up, it'll go on to the third bay, and so on and so on. If all the bays are full, it'll actually cycle around this whole hopper chain. It's nothing fancy here. It's literally just a string of hoppers. It'll keep going endlessly around here until one of these bays opens up and is accepting items. Same applies for minecarts. Every time there's a minecart comes in here, it trips the detector rail, which very simply triggers this this intersection rail here. You can just see the redstone. It's very simple. And what it does is it will change it over. We can put a minecart in there. As you can see, it switches over, so the next one will go into the next track here, into this bay, and then so on and so on, like so. That's about it for today, guys. Please leave any feedback you have in the comment section below. It really helps out. I hope to continue this in the future and incorporate it into some later designs. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time.